Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for your Wednesday night. I'm really sorry. Apparently there was a update to StreamYard today, and everything's like broken. Everything's not working 100% right. It looks anyway. It wasn't turning on correctly, and I've lost all my intro videos, all my outro videos, and nothing's where it should be. So I don't know what happened overnight, but something happened. It's good to see you all. Good to see you all. Andrew, good to have you. DJ, Laurie, Maria, Laura T. Gayla's here. Mr. Danny is here with his giant dog. He should make a company. It's called like Danny and Giant Dog Detective Co. And they go around hunting people. That'd be a great business. Um, who else is here? Marilyn Landis. Hey, Marilyn Landis. Good to see you. Nana Lana. Maria. I think we said hello to Maria before. Penguin's here. Hey, Penguin. By the way, Penguin asked a question. Where is it? Penguin says, "Hey, Ping, I heard the government pays you to vote in Australia. Is that true?" No, the government does not pay us to vote in Australia. No, no, no. We don't get any money to vote here. No. So I don't know where you heard that, but it's not true. Hey, Rachel, good to see you. Good to have everyone here tonight, this evening, to get you away from the Richard Allen stuff and maybe the bloody rallies that are going on. They seem to be on like every hour. A new rally in a different city, a different problem with a different voting machine. It's just going to get worse for the next 5, 6 days. It's not good. All right. Very important story tonight, and I'm going to preface it with this. If you are someone who has intrusive thoughts and you know what I'm talking about, maybe come back in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, okay? The first story up is got some sensitive like themes about it. I can't use the word, I'm not allowed to, due to apparently we're not adults in life. But yeah. So if you struggle with those type of thoughts in your life, maybe come back in a little while. I think the whole thing is just really messed up. I don't know if he's guilty or not. All I know is that it's not a very strong case. I think they could have done it very, very differently. Very differently. Oh God, let me move over a bit. There we go. I think they could have done it very. I really am going to tape you to this one day. Let's see. All right, let's get started. So, the title here is talking about a college in Australia called Santa Sabrina or Sabina. Sorry, Sabrina, like the teenage witch. No, Santa Sabina. And what happened is that a young girl, this is a photo of her here. Her name is Charlotte O'Brien or Brian. I'm going to say Brian. And she died. She left this world voluntarily. That's the way I'm going to put it, okay? That's the way Ping's going to put it. And tragically, in her final moments, she left a note basically deriding the bullies and the other kids that were consistently mean to her over and over again as her main reason for wanting to not be with us anymore on this earth. But it's not just that, it's the response from the school. Now, this happened in September, and over the last, month and a half, the school has come out a couple of times, and at least one time they came out. I'm going to show you the statement in a second. They said, "Oh, well, you know, we don't have any bullying here, and if we do, we handle it so well. We had like 50 parents come up to us and tell us like what a great job we do." I don't think it matters if you do a great job with 50 of them and then screw up one. If she's the one out of the 50, she still matters. And you just coming out going, "Oh, all the other parents seem to love us." That's not a way to deal with this. That's not a way to stick your head in the sand and say, "Oh, well, we don't have any bullying here." That is just a coward's way out of it, and it shows no real plan or way to deal with this. At the end of the day, this young girl is not here with us anymore, and in her very specific note, she mentioned that she was relentlessly bullied. I don't know what you want, like, what other proof do you want? I mean, how far do you wanna go with it? Like, it shows to me a school that is, just wants to stick their head in the sand and pretend like it never happened. But I'm gonna tell you something else. Not only did they do that, her parents, set up like a memorial outside of the school grounds on the nature strip out the front on a tree. They put a photo, they put some flowers for her, and, the school took it down. But there's one problem here. The school doesn't own the land outside of the gates. The only people that can do that are the local government. They don't own that land, and they have no right to take that down. And they took it down because they said, under advice from psychologists, it might trigger other children. Well, why do you seem to care about the children now, but like, for the last 2 years, you didn't give a crap about this child? How can you have it both ways? You can't now care for them and didn't care for them before. Doesn't work that way. Yeah, so the local council. I said government because it's easier for the Americans to understand. So let me show you something. Her poor grandfather was walking up and down the street looking for her memorial and couldn't find it. And he just wanted to leave some flowers for his little granddaughter. And here he is. Here, this is her grandfather Bill at the memorial site. I think they put it back up, and then it got taken down again. But here it is. They did like a little tree and some flowers, and they were trying to keep that up. Anyway, here's a photo of it. This is a beautiful photo, by the way. This is such a pretty photo with the face paint, and looks like a nice sunny day out there. It's a really nice photo of Charlotte. They say here the year 7 student, Charlotte, took her well, I can't say that word, but you know what I mean, in September after experiencing relentless bullying while attending the Catholic school Santa Sabina in the inner West Sydney suburb of Strathfield. Following the 12-year-old's tragic death, Charlotte's heartbroken family set up a memorial on a tree near the school. Charlotte's aunt, Melinda Rogers, said the family felt it was the only way they could share their farewell to the young girl. She says, "It was something we wanted to do for Charlotte because we didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye. It was our special way of giving her something to say, 'You mattered. We miss you.'" The memorial was set up on a tree over the weekend with a small plaque and flowers to pay tribute to Charlotte. But when the family drove past the site the next morning, it had grown in size with other mourners leaving flowers for the young girl. That's really kind. I'm glad that people in the community did that. However, later on Monday afternoon, the entire memorial had been removed. The family first learned of the removal when they discovered Charlotte's grandfather wandering aimlessly up and down the street trying to find the memorial site to lay his flowers. After he left the flowers at the site of the original memorial, they were devastated to learn they had also been removed. They say words cannot express how devastated we are about it. Paulina Skirman, principal at the school, said the memorial had been removed in the interests of the students on advice of mental health experts, including Headspace, which is a local charity down here that does youth, youth psychology, basically, who are working with the college. We removed the memorial because of the concerns that were raised about the impact this could have on other young people. The hell are you talking about? How much state-sponsored crack are you smoking? You know that every time you drive down the road, you see memorials everywhere, like the lady who got killed by a car, the person who was in a car crash, the old lady who, whatever. You see them everywhere. What does it matter if it's outside the school? And 2, I bring it to your attention again that they don't own that space. That space is owned by the local government and not by them, and they don't have any control over it. So pulling it down isn't their call, and they shouldn't be doing it. It says here, she explained the school was working with Charlotte's family to find a permanent and loving way to remember Charlotte and promised the 12-year-old would not be forgotten. Really? Because apparently, according to the family, you're full of crap. Because I'm going to show you something else. Uh, yeah, is this it here? Hold on. No, it's not that one. Sorry, there's two of them. I'm just trying to find them. Yeah. So apparently, the parents had tried to get a meeting with the school and the school principal after the death of their daughter, and they finally did get a meeting. It took about a month, I think they said. A month. Not like the next day, not like, a couple of days later, a month. They're saying here when they arrived at the school, they had to walk themselves to the principal's office through hundreds of other little girls and students walking around at an inappropriate time. They could have done this. They could have, one, had someone meet them at the gate, and two, ushered them through in a quiet period, during classes or something like that. So they had a minimal run in with other students. Because it's hard. If you see little girls, they kind of look like your little girl, and it brings back, awful memories. It's already hard enough going back to her school. They're saying here, when they arrived and met with the principal, they shared their own feedback, but very quickly they learned that the school wasn't interested in that, neither was the principal. The feedback was interrupted, it was discounted, it was disagreed with. They say, I sat across from a lady, the principal, that showed myself and the rest of my family no emotion and no empathy at all. They added the principal did not offer any kind of apology for what happened to their daughter and said there was no accountability at all during that meeting. The questions we wanted answered were simply not answered at all. When we left that meeting, we were left to show ourselves out of the school grounds. The last image I will have of that school was as I looked behind me, Kelly was carrying some items of Charlotte's, and watching her squeeze herself in that box through the closed gates was one of the hardest things I've seen. Kelly got in the car, and that was the worst I had seen her since the funeral. She said to me, I felt my daughter's life did not matter. The parents' heartbreaking message comes after the school was slammed for removing a memorial in place to remember Charlotte. And there you go, you can see it. So it's a Catholic school in Sydney, Australia, if people want more about the geography. And it's in a suburb called Strathfield, which is sort of central. It's just slightly west of the city. It's like I call it inner west, is when I used to live there. But I want to show you this. This is their response to the claims of bullying at the school. Here. They say here, in her goodbye note, Charlotte specifically mentioned the bullying that she received at the school. Her parents said that the college previously said claims surrounding the teenager's death were new to the college and not consistent with our records. Do you know what that says to me? That says to me the school probably spoke to her teachers multiple times, maybe even like in person most of the time because they were so concerned. If the teacher doesn't write anything down and doesn't make an official report, it goes into thin air and everyone can have plausible deniability, right? So if something goes wrong, no one, oh, I don't know, I never heard of that. That never happened here. Pretty interesting. Why would this young girl want to leave this world, her loving family, and just make up a lie. And like, that's her final words on earth. And she's like, I was bullied to the point of having to do this. I can't take it anymore. And you're just like, oh, that never happened here. Not only that, they also said down here, the school said it had been inundated with support, to which the Charlotte's father responded, Those mothers that have given the school support, no doubt they'll be planning on picking up their daughters from school today. We are not. And they said here, uh, they said they've had heaps of families come forward, and the school is overwhelmed with support from other parents coming forward and saying how well we deal with these issues. That's like living in an echo chamber. That's like finding everyone that likes you, putting them all in a room and saying, "What do you think about that nasty thing that I did? Do you think I'm a bad person?" And then all those people go, "Of course you're not. Of course you're not. You're the best. We all love you." Y That's the thing about criticism. It has to come from the outside because that's the impartial, that's why I'm doing this right now because I don't know any of you and I can just see the facts for myself. They say the school said it had been inundated with support. Yep. In a new statement, the principal of the all girls Catholic Dominican school said it had received a number of supportive messages and emails from families following the tragedy. They say Paulina Skirman, same lady, said many parents wrote about their children feeling safe and cared for at the school and opposed the portrayal of our college as failing to deal with matters that cause distress among our students. It doesn't matter what those children think right now. It matters what they think in general, but not with this subject. Because what if they're the ones that were doing the bullying? What else are they going to say? Yeah, I was a nasty little rat bag who bullied the crap out of this girl, and I'm kind of glad she's gone because now we can just find a different girl to bully. But right now we're going to say how well and great job you do. You can't take feedback like this. This is not how you run you know, a critical investigation into something so serious. You can't be like, let's go find all the people that like us and get them to tell them how much they love us. No, like the appropriate thing here is you really need to take a nuts to soup approach here from the top down and find out where is this bullying coming from, because the new word that they love to use, we have a zero tolerance approach to bullying, is basically says we will do zero if we ever hear of any bullying, and we'll just tell everyone that we have a zero tolerance approach, which means we just do zero. They're saying here, while matters are always complex like this in this type of case, we always work in partnership with families to support our students. Not according to her family. According to her family, they approached you several times about the bullying of their daughter, and you sat back and did nothing. Nothing. They saying here Charlotte's mother, Kelly, previously said she had sent several emails to the school expressing concern and asking for problems to be addressed. The first of these emails was sent in August 2022, in which Kelly said she begged the school to intervene. Skirman said the school's anti-bullying policy was available on its website, and students and families were highly informed. So, what are you saying? Oh, well, we have a website with a statement. Everyone's very fearful of a website. You better read that website and you be in fear. Don't be doing no bullying because we have a website. They say here they clearly demonstrate the college's approach to dealing swiftly and appropriately with any concerns raised. Apparently not, because this dates back to August 2022. We are now in 2024, 2 years later. 2 years in a young girl's life. So she would have been 9 or 10 at the time. She was 12 when she unfortunately passed away. That is a lifetime for a little kid. 2 years for us adults is not very long. It goes by like that. But for a little kid, that is literally eternity. Imagine having to deal with that for 9 months out of the year while you're at this prestigious school. Do better. Stop hiding behind PR statements and, legalese and trying not to get sued. How about be the actual pillar in your community and do something about it? Everyone's sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's 25 years since I've been in school and nothing's changed. Except now we just have more kind of like fancy words for stuff. Zero tolerance and stuff like that. Like that it's the same as it always was and ain't nobody doing anything about it. They bring in these programs like, "Oh, but we have a leadership committee." Yeah, they work for like a month while the kids are really excited about it, and then they just go back to bullying afterwards. This is a top-down approach, but it also starts at home. These parents have to know what their children are doing because at the end of the day, when that school day ends and they go home, they are the parents' responsibility. And you need to know what they're doing because a lot of this bullying takes place after class. So they don't get caught in school and get in trouble. But they commingle at the school, and that's where the bullying intensifies because they're like, "Hey, we're gonna get you after school. Hey, wait till the bell goes, you know? We're gonna dice you up online." You need to know what these kids are talking about, and at 10 to 12 years old, they have no privacy at home. You can read every message they type. You can put a keylogger on their phone if you want because they're 12. And if you ever find your kid doing stuff like that, I would hope that you're not a scumbag and that you would correct them and hopefully make sure that your kid is no longer a bully. Because it's always the people that say, "Well, my child will never do that." Well, the statistics tell us it's most likely your child. I'm sorry, but it's true. The statistics tell us it's like every third child is a bully. Can't be everyone pointing the fingers at everyone else going, "Whoa, my child's never done that." We get nowhere with that approach. They say the school is continuing to support Charlotte's family through their unimaginable grief. Sounds to me like you're adding to their grief, but sure. And was working with the Youth Mental Health Foundation Headspace. Another catchy, thing, they just ring up and they're like, "Hey, can we contract you for this so that we sound really good and that we're trying to make a difference? So we can put it on a letter or something or like a media interview and we can say we're working with Headspace. It makes us look really professional. We're not going to do anything, but it makes it look really cool and very, pro organized and getting stuff done. And nothing gets done." They say here Charlotte's final words. They say Charlotte's parents have shared the note their little girl left for them before she died, which detailed her final wishes. Her mother, Kelly, said one of the things she wrote about was her baby brother, Will. And she says, I saw little pink writing saying, "Please, Mama, live for Will because I can't anymore." Charlotte wrote about the bullying she had experienced at school, but said she wanted her story to be shared to help raise awareness. One day, she just burst into tears and said, "Everyone hates me. I'm a monster. I've got no friends. They're so mean to me. They hate me. They hate me. Everyone's mean to me." There's her and her little brother. I think that's very very tragic. I'm gonna leave it there, but it's ridiculous. No one wants to be the change, right? Everyone just wants to ignore it. Except we start losing. Who knows what this little girl could have been? She could have been, I don't know, a doctor. She could have worked on politics or something. She could have worked in. She could have been a vet. Who knows what she wanted to do? She could have even just wanted to be a mum. Who knows? But she's not gonna get that chance anymore because no one's taking accountability for anything. All I see here is people passing the buck to each other. "Oh, it's not us." "Well, we're working with Headspace. That means we're indemnified." No, you're not. And if you had any moral backbone, you would put out a like 5 million page report detailing every fraction of what went wrong here, obviously with underage children's names redacted and stuff like that. But you would put out a freaking it would have every detail of how you somehow let this girl fall through the cracks at your school because she deserves no less than that. They say Charlotte's family is now calling on all schools across the state to have a hard conversation about their policies on bullying, claiming their daughter was broken down over several years because of toxic behavior was allowed to fester. They say, I don't care if it's a public school, private school, independent, or Catholic. You have a duty of care for these kids and you have to step in as the adult. I agree. I agree. I agree. There you go. There's Ping's angry story for today. I hate hearing this. I hate hearing that nothing has changed in like decades. They keep prattling on TV, oh, we've got a leadership committee and the no kids here bully. Funny that I keep seeing videos on like Instagram of kids beating each other up in the playground where a girl lost a tooth, had to have dental surgery, and then another girl who had a broken cheekbone and had half her ponytail ripped out. And that's only the women. We wait till we talk about the boys. I mean, nothing's changed. A lot of these approaches have failed. And unless you're going to run a collaborative effort between parents and the school, it's never going to change because it's like between 8 a.m. in the morning and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It's sort of like it's up to the school, right? And then after 3 p.m. till they head back the next day, it's the parents, but neither of them are working together. I hope something changes so we stop losing little girls like Charlotte and some boys too. We've had heaps of boys that have done it as well, but today we're talking about little girls. Um, yeah, because I'm sick of seeing it. I really am sick to death of it. Right. You wouldn't believe this being Ping 6'2" and all 80 kilos of me, but I was relentlessly bullied myself when I was in high school and primary school. I never fit in with anyone. And that's why I take these subjects so seriously because I can totally relate and I get it. I hated school. I hated it. It wasn't until I became an adult where one, I had my own voice. Two, I don't let people treat me like crap now that I'm adult because I just don't. I don't take crap from no one. And as an adult, I found adult education better, although there's still politics and bullying and stuff like that, but it's easier to stand up for yourself when you have a stronger voice. But yeah, my younger years, I hated high school, hated primary school, never fit in, hated it. Blaze says my grandmother had her long braid her long braid clip off because the kids teased her for having red hair. That's not very nice. Danny said, kids are horrible. I never wanted to work with juveniles. No, they can be really nasty, especially the girls of this particular age. The boys bully, but they sort of bully the same way throughout their entire lives. But around this 10 to 15 age, sort of like, 12, that sort of age range, the girls get really nasty. And I don't know if it's just the hormones and stuff like that, but they get really, really, catty. Burn Popcorn says there's a lot of bullying here on YouTube with adults. That is true, especially in true crime. Especially in true crime. Let me read some of your comments. Sorry, I had to read all that. Andrew says, one day I ran to a mum outside her home to help me and she slammed the door. Yeah, people are idiots. Laurie says, I never had my kids ride the bus. Seems like a good time for bullying to happen. Rachel says they went after me on the bus. I would beg my grandma to pick me up. Yeah, it seems like with so many people in the world who can relate, why are we still having this problem? That's what I want to know. There's so many people who endured it when they were younger. How is it that we are still having the problem? Andrew says, in my case, teachers were just as bad. I was going to say that earlier, that when I was at school 25 years ago, sometimes the teachers were the bullies. I'm not kidding. I had a teacher that I hated. His name was Mr. Rogers, and he picked on me relentlessly. Throughout my primary school years, I had him in grade 4 and I had him for one class in grade 5, but during grade 4, he was my full-time teacher. He picked on me relentlessly, got me in trouble with my parents, like, all the time. Actually, I'll tell you a story about it. I tell this story all the time to Mrs. Ping, actually. So when I was in that grade, my parents every now and then would take children in, like, that were coming for different sports carnivals. So in America, if you had a kid that was coming to play a football game from out of town, they would stay with another family, like a host family, for like the weekend or a week or something. Anyway, my parents had done that a couple of times when I was a kid. And there was this one time they wanted them to do it again. And I asked my parents because they asked me, they said, "Hey, ask your parents, can they do it again in July or whatever?" And I asked my parents, and my mom was like, "No, no, we can't do that." There was some reason, I can't remember what it was, but she's like, "No, no, we're really busy. We can't do it that time." And this one was different because the child needed to be driven to and from their sporting event during the week. And my mom's like, "I work. I can't do it." So she just said, "Go to your teacher, tell him no." And I did. Next Monday, I went to school, told him no, and then everyone forgot about it because they sort of asked me at the beginning of term, and I was like, "Okay, great, it's all done with. We're not going to do it this time." The day the kids arrive at our school to be picked up, my teacher comes over with a child at the end of the school day and hands the child to my mom. And my mom's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, your son said it was okay. Like we're definitely, you could take a child this weekend." I never said that. I will take that to my deathbed. I never ever said that to him. And my mom was so when your parents are so mad, they they won't even talk to you. Like they're so red hot. My mom's face was bright red, and I was like, "Oh my god, she's so pissed off." And the teacher basically guilt tripped my mom into taking the kid because they didn't have another family. Anyway, years later, we found out that the teacher screwed up. That the teacher screwed up and didn't find enough homes for the family throughout the term. And then when the kids showed up, they had one extra. So they pinned it on me and pushed it on my family and got me in trouble with my mum for like a month. My mum was so mad at me for like ages. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was grounded. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I was in so much trouble because the teacher kept saying that I had told them and I had given them permission for it. And yeah, my mum was so pissed anyway. So like there's my story about teachers bullying students. Um the fact that I'm 40 and I still remember every moment of that tells you how traumatic that was and how much that teacher affected me. Blaze says, I had a teacher who picked on a kid in my class. I made my parents speak to his mother, and she told my parents that she wanted the teacher to be firm because she wanted her sons to go into the military. Okay, well that's one path, I guess. Guess that's one way of doing it. Diamond Heart says, I got bullied all through middle school. Now I'm a special education paraprofessional. Bet no one bullies in our class. I hope not. I believe you. I believe that you wouldn't allow that because you are a good person. Yeah, yeah, that story. I hope he died a horrible death. That man, can't stand him. Can't stand him. He was an absolute. See you in the NT. He was definitely a see you in the NT. That's definitely what he was. All right. There you go. There's Charlotte's story. I hope we get some action on it. I hope the school stops hiding behind PR statements and actually helps the family. Promising a memorial or something like, oh, we'll do it in term 2 in 2025 is not good enough. Help the family now. They need help now. They are going through hell. So help Charlotte's family now. And if you see them in the street, if you live where they live, I don't know if they live in Strathfield or they live close by, but if you know them, if you see them around, you know, remember what they're going through. Give them a hand up, not a hand down. You know, bring them up. All right. Okay. Let Ping calm down now. My blood pressure is through the roof. Andrew says, I grew up in a bad area when I was a little kid. When I was little, a teacher asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said a girl. I didn't know better. Well, sure. We all have dreams, Andrew. If you asked me at 13, I probably would have thought the same. I was like, wow, that'd be a great idea. All right. Let's keep going. We've got more stories to talk about. There's been heaps of stuff going on today. Uh-huh. So an update out of Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. He's the guy who called in about a bear chasing him. Well, not him, but the actual victim. And then they found a dead man in a park. But they said, oh, he fell off a cliff from a bear chasing him. And there was a 911 call. Anyway, apparently things changed today. The FBI has been brought into the investigation after they failed to track him down. They say he's been charged with first-degree murder after a man's body was found following a 911 call earlier this month from someone claiming they fell from a cliff after being chased by a bear. A spokesperson for the FBI told News 2 sister station WATE on Tuesday that it is providing investigative and technical assistance to state and local law enforcement in the search. However, the FBI cannot release information about the exact nature of the assistance because the search is ongoing. On Friday, October 25th, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office reported that Hamlet should be considered armed and dangerous. He is described as 5 feet 7 inches tall, 170 pounds with brown hair, blue eyes. Anyone who sees Hamlet is urged to call 911 or Monroe County Dispatch at 423-442-4357 immediately and do not approach him. As, yeah, he is considered armed and dangerous. Hold on. There we go. There's some photos of him, of Mr. Hamlet. Here, let me blow these up for you. There you go. I don't know what this photo is, but that's a weird photo, right? Of this sort of like in the dark. What is that? Does anyone know? Like, do you reckon that's a CCTV photo? And do you think it's recent? It's a day school. It's only like 8 till 3 every day. Andrew says I was little, but no one ever forgot it. We'll never forget either, Andrew. Angela says it's his Halloween photo. Is that what it is? You don't look that scary. So there we go. FBI now involved. I find that highly interesting. Do they think that he is going to cross a border? Because normally the FBI only gets involved if someone's trying to flee internationally. Well, that might be Homeland Security. But the FBI, why do they want the FBI involved? Because the TBI was already involved. They already had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation in on it, and now they have the actual full-blown FBI. Probably already has, maybe. Michael Myers, is that what it is? Well, I don't think so, but sure. It actually looks like this might be. I don't know. I almost wanted to say it looked like an arrest photo, like he's lying on the side of a road, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see, Brandon Andrade. So he was using the name Brandon Andrade. For what reason and where that ID came from, not sure. Let's head over to the Fox News. They say FBI and U.S. Marshal Service join the nationwide manhunt for murder suspect accused of faking a bear attack. Police believe Tennessee parolee Nicholas Hamlet stole Brandon Andrade's identity to evade police and then stage Andrade's death by killing another man. He's killing everyone. They're saying here the FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service have now joined the manhunt, and they're saying Nicholas Wayne Hamlet pretended to be a man named Brandon Andrade when he dialed 911 around 11:34 p.m. on October 24 and told police he was injured and trapped in a body of water after a bear chased him off a cliff while hiking in Hamilton County, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Authorities traced the call near Tellico Plains, northeast of Chattanooga. There they found the bloody corpse with Andrade's ID. Police later learned that the ID had been stolen by Hamlet and used multiple times. Police believe Hamlet stole the ID to escape parole, then faked his death for an unknown reason. Yeah, I'm not sure why. They say at a Wednesday press conference, authorities said they realized something was aware or wire or whatever when the dead man's injuries were inconsistent with a bear attack or a fall from a cliff, and quickly realized that the dead man was not Andrade. And according to them, they're urging him to turn himself in. They say, Nick, let's end this peacefully. Turn yourself in, have your day in court. And this is coming from the FBI. The long arm of the law has a long and huge reach, and we will find you no matter where you hide. The deputies and investigators here know their county well, the TBI agents know their state well, and the FBI and Marshal Service know the country well and have reach across the world, so there is nowhere to hide. And that's coming from the FBI. They say authorities have not yet identified the dead man at the conference today, but Monroe County Sheriff Tommy Jones said Hamlet and his victim knew each other for quite a few months before the attack took place. Was that guy harboring him for a period of time after he escaped parole? Maybe. Maybe. Let me see if I can find that press conference. Hold on. Let me go to Monroe County. Hey, by the way, has anyone heard from Judy Ron? Is he doing okay? I hope he is. I really do. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, I hope that guy's okay. I don't want him to be, sick or whatever, or have cancer. Hope he's doing better. Where is Monroe County? Come on. Did my thing get removed from Facebook? What is going on? Here. Let me check Sheriff Tommy Jones. Here we go. Press conference 4:30. Okay.
You'll probably do need 440. That work? Everybody here? Who we missing? There. That's how long we've been for that. I've spent most of my life behind a podium everywhere, and it feels like. Oh, this is a nice one right here. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. My name is Stephen Hatchett. I am the District Attorney General for the 10th Judicial District, which covers Bradley, McMinnville Road, Polk County. The purpose of this press conference is very straightforward. We intend to find and bring to justice the gentleman on that reward poster, Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. Now, first, Mr. Hamlet is entitled to due process. He is presumed innocent, and we intend to get him into court, and we intend to have that due process be applied, and we intend to see that justice gets done in this case. There will be some questions that the media may have that will not get answered. That's simply the nature of these kind of cases. But what we do ask, and the main reason for doing this, is to ask for the media's help, to ask for the public's help in finding Mr. Hamlet. We do consider Mr. Hamlet to be dangerous, and we certainly are going to expend every resource available to see that he is taken into custody and brought into a court of law. The people that you see up here, you're going to hear from some of them, have worked a massive amount of time on this case. They have spent a tremendous amount of effort, and it is a testament to our law enforcement community, the amount of resources that have been expended to bring Mr. Hamlet to justice. As you hear from these gentlemen, please keep in mind what I said. There will be some questions that simply cannot be answered. We're not trying to be rude. We're not trying to withhold information, but this is a very serious matter. These are very serious charges, and it is a very serious situation. So we are asking, we are imploring the public to help us find Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Jones. He is going to go through some of the facts with you, but again, if there are questions that he cannot answer, if you see me step over to Sheriff.
We are needing your assistance, the public's assistance, on the location of Mr. Hamlet. How this began was on Friday, October 18th, 2024, at around 11:34 p.m. Monroe County E911 Center received a transfer call from Polk County 911 in reference to a distressed hiker claiming to be Mr. Brandon Andrade. He advised the dispatch that he had fallen off of a cliff while being ran by a bear. The distressed caller claimed that he was injured, was partly in the water. The call had been pinged in the area of the Charles Hall Bridge on the Terre Haute Skyway telephone lines. A deceased male was located with the identification of Mr. Brandon Christopher Andrade on his person. The detectives of Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Division, and Violent Crime Task Force reviewed the scene, and after further investigation determined that the deceased subject was not Brandon Andrade, and that the identification had been stolen and used in multiple other occasions. Furthermore, a male that was using the stolen identification of Mr. Andrade was discovered to be Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet, who is wanted out of the state of Alabama on a parole violation. An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet for first-degree murder out of Monroe County, Tennessee. Mr. Hamlet is considered to be armed, and he is considered to be highly dangerous. If anyone has any information that could lead to the arrest of Mr. Hamlet, I highly advise you to contact your local law enforcement. Anyone that is known that is communicating with Mr. Hamlet in any way and not reporting to law enforcement will also face.
That's interesting. They say anyone who is communicating with Mr. Hamlet. I think they think he's got help. Someone is helping him stay hidden, because they wouldn't drop that in there for no reason. I think they believe someone is helping him. This is the most boring press conference on earth, so I'm going to leave it there. He told you basically the update. I find that very interesting that and then they said that the person they found in the water below the cliff, he had known him for a period of time before the murder took place. So is he getting people to hide him and keep him on the lam, and then when they become suspicious, he offs them? That's sort of what it seems like. Yeah, they wouldn't drop that in there for no reason. They don't say things like that just because they want to. There's a reason they drop those little uh, you know, phrases or wording for some reason. So I think they're trying to scare someone who is helping him. I think they're trying to like freak him out or her out, trying to smoke him out a little bit. But he's got connections to like 50 different states apparently, all across the south of America. So if you see him around, contact 911. Do not approach. And we have a lot of people from Tennessee, so keep your eyes out in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, Carolina, maybe even Oklahoma, Missouri, Louisiana, all those type of places. Sometimes it is. Hey, Robbie, how are you? But I want to get to this because this is very interesting. Suspect identified in the murder of Dustin. So Dustin was the camper we talked about, not too far away from Moose Creek, and just outside of Big Sky in Montana. So apparently they found a suspect. They are in custody, but not for the reason you think. They're saying here in a press release the suspect is in custody on unrelated charges and is cooperating. They say Springer, the sheriff, says the suspect led detectives to evidence previously identified. That would be the axe, the cooler, and the weapons that they were looking for on Saturday. According to the sheriff, the suspect is believed to have acted alone and is no longer a threat to the community. The investigation is ongoing, but the sheriff emphasized that the community is safe to resume outdoor activities. I hear a bigger press conference is coming too, by the way. The release said the sheriff's office will have no further comment regarding the investigation until charges are filed. As soon as that's done, they will call a big press conference. The name of the suspect has not been released at this time. Very interesting. What do they mean unrelated charges? Was this person like someone living in the bushland, and they were breaking into places to steal or, you know, get shelter? Were they like a homeless person breaking into, different campsites? Or it's very odd. Let's see if this is part of it. I won't play that one. That's okay. Hold on. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. No, that's okay. Hold on. Yeah, Montana right now. Let's head to Montana right now. They say suspect in custody in Moose Creek homicide investigation near Big Sky, updated only an hour ago. They just say the suspect is in custody on unrelated charges. Authorities have confirmed that the suspect is cooperating with detectives and led them to crucial evidence in the ongoing investigation. And they say the investigation continues. Further details and charges are expected soon. Yeah, they say on their Facebook post, this one here. No, not that one. This one. There we go. They say they identified the suspect. The suspect is in custody. The suspect is cooperating. Yep. The investigation into his homicide continued. It is believed the suspect acted alone. There is no longer a threat to the community. Further details and charges are forthcoming, but it is important for this community to know they are safe to resume their outdoor activities. They're saying They would also like to thank all these different agencies for helping, and that's it. I would expect either tomorrow or the day after that they'll call a big press conference for it. Like, in front of the TV cameras, news agencies, that type of thing. This is just happened in the last couple of hours. So wait till they charge the guy with Dustin's death, and then we'll find out who he is there any connection, and what these unrelated charges are, and why Dustin had to die. Why did he have to hurt Dustin? We'll find out. You guys still think it's just a open and shut theft type of case? Retired Iran says I am behind listening at 2 times speed. Thank you, I appreciate it. Hey Gail, how are you? Good to see you. All right, that is really good news. That is one down. We have more to go. We have more cases to go. All right. What if I told you that people didn't learn anything from Aaron Patterson? What if I told you that people have died from eating mushrooms again? What if I told you it was in the same city as Aaron Patterson? Here we go. Woman dies after eating poisonous mushrooms in Melbourne. Her name was Loretta Maria Del Rossi. She died from suspected mushroom poisoning. They say an elderly woman has died after mistakenly eating poisonous mushrooms she had picked from her garden to have for dinner with tuna and rice. Loretta Maria Del Rossi, 98 years old. She almost made it to 100. From Bayswater in Melbourne's East, died on May 22nd this year after suffering organ failure. She was found to have suffered poisoning from amatoxins, which are found in deathcap and yellow staining mushrooms, according to the Victorian coroner judge, John Kane, and he delivered those findings just this week. They say Miss Del Rossi grew her own vegetables and was known to collect wild grasses for herself and her adult son, Nicola, who she lived with, according to the coroner. In April this year, Miss Del Rossi spotted some mushrooms in her front yard and asked her son if he thought they would be safe to eat. She washed and cleaned the mushrooms and put them in a meal with tuna and rice. Neither Miss Del Rossi or her son fell ill, and a few weeks later, on May 15, she decided to pick mushrooms from her garden again to make the same meal for dinner. However, Miss Del Rossi woke in the middle of the night and started vomiting, telling her son the mushrooms were no good. There's a photo of yellow staining mushrooms. You can see the yellow stain on the cap here, and if you pinch them, they'll stain your fingers yellow. That's a very easy way to find out if it's no good. Just break the stem. If they go blue, you may be in for a fun time. If they go yellow, don't eat them. They say here at 6 a.m. the following morning, Nicola started vomiting as well, and the pair called an ambulance. Both Nicola and his mother were taken to hospital, but Miss Del Rossi's condition deteriorated, and she told medical staff she was in significant pain. Following her wishes, Miss Del Rossi's treatment was withdrawn, and she was moved into palliative care. She died on May 22nd of this year. Mr. Kane said in his findings that yellow staining mushrooms were often confused for edible mushrooms that are bought from a supermarket. Deathcap mushrooms are usually white, yellow, brown, green in color. The coroner issued a warning, an urgent warning, about eating wild mushrooms and said more public awareness was needed. Well, my awareness goes like this: unless I buy it from the supermarket and I can see how much it is per kilo, I know I'll be okay. I ain't picking them from my front lawn because I don't know which ones will kill me and which ones won't. So that's why I pay $8.99 a kilo for mushrooms from the supermarket. They say here the coroner issued an urgent warning about eating wild mushrooms and said more public awareness was needed. I therefore recommend that the Department of Health in conjunction with the Victorian Poison Information Centre, designed an annual advertising campaign that can be released each year in early autumn when wild mushrooms are prevalent in Victoria, highlighting the dangers of consuming wild mushrooms. You could have Erin Patterson as your spokesperson. You could have her do a video from jail, and she'd be a great spokesperson to tell everyone not to eat poison mushrooms. It could start, in a dimly lit room, and then the light like slowly turns on, and she's sitting there, very plain, not a lot of color. We're using a nice filter on this one, and she starts by saying, "Last year, 3 of my beloved family died after eating mushrooms from a meal that I cooked, a beef Wellington. Now, I sit in a jail, charged with murder and attempted murder. Don't be like me. Don't pick wild mushrooms. Go to poisoninformation.vic.gov.au. There you go. There's your ad. There's your ad." Rachel says, "Morels are the only mushrooms I will pick and eat. All others come from the store." Well, they're easy to identify. They look like trumpets. So, you get them from the wild? Not me. So, your sister gets them first. She's the test guinea pig. Patty L says, "Hi, Ping. Hello." Sean says, "I watched a documentary about a cameraman who survived the meal." Yeah, that was the Canberra Chinese New Year one, where it was a restaurant that cooked it. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I read about that one myself. That was it was a restaurant. They closed to make a New Year or Chinese New Year meal, and one of the guys had gone mushroom picking, so they used the mushrooms in a soup or something. Not all of them ate it, like 3 of them ate it, and one of them only had a couple of spoonfuls, and I think all 3 died, and the guy who had a couple of spoonfuls got really, really ill. That's right. Yeah, see, he'd been doing it for years and got it wrong. But that was slightly different. I think they thought they were, straw mushrooms, and his identification was off because he said he used to pick them back in his home country, and he thought they were the same ones growing here. But straw mushrooms look very similar to death cap mushrooms when they're little. When they're, young, death caps look very similar to straw mushrooms. So, yeah, I read that book too. Rachel says, "Exactly, Ping. Scary thing is they do grow in my front yard where the water line runs. Don't eat them. Don't eat them. Just pay for them at the store. It's much better. You know that they're going to be the right species. Like the Swiss brown the Swiss brown ones. I like those ones compared to the white ones. They got like a little bit of a deeper flavor. Quite like them. Hard to get though here. We don't get a lot of the ones that have the brown covering on the outside, but look like the white ones. They're called Swiss brown here, but we don't often get them. They're getting a little more popular, and you can find them a little more often, but not all the time. Different guy, only a couple survived over here. It was a Canberra one, right? Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. Yeah, see, 2 people have died after eating death cap mushrooms at a New Year's Eve party in Canberra. The deaths were confirmed by a spokesman for the Sydney Royal Prince Alfred Hospital this morning. This was back in 2012. The victims were waiting for liver transplants after eating the fungus. So, see, they were waiting for liver transplants and died. Very similar to Erin Patterson. 2 of them died very quickly, but the third one that survived, he actually was able to get a liver transplant and he survived. And he's the only survivor from that weekend. So, 25 years ago? Wednesday, the 4th of January, 2012. Was it 25 years ago? Hmm. Hold on. Um, so the 2012 one that I just read you ended up killing 3 people, not 2. Originally 2 died, but a third later died later on. Um, I'm trying to find the one from 2000, but I can't find that one. But yeah, the one in 2012 was this one. Death Cap mushroom meal was made in a restaurant kitchen. They say the chef, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. They say, is it Leo Jun, 38, who made the meal at the Chinese bistro in Harmony German Club, and a Chinese woman, 52, died from liver failure in a Sydney hospital while waiting for transplants. Mystery surrounds another man, 51, who remains in Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital in a stable condition with death cap poisoning. ACT Health initially said the man was part of the same group, but ACT police said this was not the case. Health authorities inspected the restaurant and said there was no risk to exposure to the public. Friends of the chef, who had spent several years working in Australia, said he was obsessed with fresh food. He was also working to send money home to his wife and 2 children, a 7-year-old boy and a girl, 11. A sign at the Chinese bistro where the meal was prepared read, "The Chinese bistro will be closed until further notice due to illness." It was reported last night inside, the remains of a meal sat on a table next to a counter. A statement from the club last night offered condolences to the family and friends of our colleague who died recently after an unfortunate event of eating death cap mushrooms at a private meal. That particular meal was prepared for a private meal and was not part of our public menu. The Herald does not suggest the meal was available to the public. His friends believe he picked the poisonous mushrooms in Braddon on his way home from work, mistaking them for edible straw mushrooms used in Asian cooking. The 4 friends at the dinner were not members of the same family. A man in his 30s ate a small amount and left hospital on Tuesday. Yeah. So there you go. That was from 2012, a different case in Canberra. I can't find the one in 1999. Simon Claringbold. Simon. Oh, no, but he survived. Is this the American guy that survived? I think I've read this story. Is this the one that he was in a cabin? I've read a few of these. Yeah. Ah, interesting. Apparently, he was gardening in his Canberra backyard when he spotted some death cap mushrooms and picked them, mistaking them for field mushrooms. That night, his wife added them to his spaghetti bolognese, which he said thankfully his wife and child did not eat. 18 hours later, he became violently ill. He says, I was vomiting and had diarrhea, and I was sort of just tried to sleep it off. And the next day or two after the poisoning, I went and saw a doctor. He took one look at me and raced me to the Canberra hospital, and my wife gave me a part of the mushroom in a paper bag. The liver specialist there looked at the mushrooms and basically said, "Oh yeah, that's a death cap mushroom." And they basically got me in an air ambulance and airlifted me to the Royal Prince Alfred in Sydney, and I went into the acute liver ward. Yeah, the fact he survived is very lucky. Hold on, guys. Hey Vicky K, how are you, my friend? I hope you've been well. Hope you've been keeping well. Evil says, did you hear about the man brain dead in a coma? They started to remove organs for donation until they realized he was alive. Ugh, no, I don't want to read that though. Nana Lana says, hey Vicky, yeah, hey Vicky, how are you, my friend? Vicky, that is very sweet of you. I very much appreciate it. The support of the channel is very kind. You know, I appreciate all the help you give me. It is very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Very, very sweet of you. In fact, yeah, I mean, I guess it's sort of like a snake bite or a spider bite. If you can somehow take a photo of the snake or take the spider after you whack it with a shoe, they'll be able to identify it faster and get you the anti-venom or whatever. Like there was a little boy in Sydney who was in his home and he picked up what he thought was a toy rubber spider after Halloween, and he thought it was one of the decorations they had for Halloween. He realized it was not when the spider latched around his little hand and bit him like 5 or 6 times and envenomated him like with a whole bunch of venom. And the little boy, his mum whacked it with a shoe. She put it in a bag and took it to the hospital with the little boy, and they were able to figure out that it was a funnel web spider from Sydney, and they got him the anti-venom he needed, and he survived. Very sick little boy for a few days, but the anti-venom was able to I think they had to give him something like it was like 5 or 6 vials of anti-venom, like a whole bunch of it, because he'd been bitten so many times. But, yeah, his mum's like, "No more toy spiders in my house ever again." And she goes, "Now we teach the boys, spiders no pick up. You don't pick up spiders. You don't touch them. You don't they're not toys. Spiders are never toys." So, that's a pretty good lesson in Australia or anywhere for that matter. Spiders are not toys. That's why they shouldn't really sell, like, rubber spiders and you know, snakes or reptiles. Because little kids might think it's okay to pick up a real one and then they get bit. If you guys want to know some other unlucky stories, there was a man in Sydney. Everything happens in Sydney apparently. There was a man in Sydney who saw some birds trying to attack a lizard, what he thought was a blue-tongued lizard. He decided, "Oh, that poor blue-tongued lizard, I'm gonna save it from the birds." So he went and picked it up, and it swung around and bit him. It wasn't a blue-tongued lizard, which are not poisonous, it was a death adder, and that man had a heart attack within 3 minutes and died, all because he was trying to save it from, save it from the birds. Yeah, no rubber spiders. Yeah, it probably was. Let me see if I can find it for you. I think it must have been this one. It was a long time ago. There's a Death Adder. No, that's not it. I don't know if it is that one. They're saying here, the doctor says a 47-year-old thought the snake was a lizard and picked it up at a water skiing resort near the Hawkesbury River last night. Other holidaymakers identified it as a death adder and the snake was killed. Rescue helicopter spokesperson Ian Badham said trauma specialists were called to help treat the man after the man was bitten 5 times on the arm. Ambulance officers raced to his aid as he went into cardiac arrest. Maybe it was this one. And they're saying he's in hospital, or he was in hospital about 20 years ago. But yeah, he thought it was a lizard, and the birds were going crazy at it. They kept swooping it, and they were trying to bite it. And he's like, "Oh my god, this poor lizard!" And end up being a death adder. By the way, I didn't know they even existed in Australia until I was much older. Like we all know red belly black snake, brown snake, taipan, scrub snake, all that type of thing. But I never knew that there was a death adder or an adder species in Australia. Uh, Burnt Popcorn says, have to step out and check on the World Series. Okay. All right, we should go back to true crime. Enough random stories from Ping. All right, hold on. I have far too many links open. Nope, that's about a UFO. No, we're not talking about that. Nope, we're not talking about that. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's Erin Patterson. She's back. Hi guys. I'm in jail. I'm waiting for trial. Ping's gonna see me at trial. I might wave at him. There you go, she's back. That's about Charlotte. We don't want that. Uh-huh. I want to talk about this for Gala because it is mental. Spain right now is going through catastrophic flooding, and it's from a type of weather event called a Dania. I've never heard of it, but apparently it's where cool air gets trapped by warm air and it creates a lot of rain. I've never heard of it before. And I know quite a lot about weather, but I'd never heard of it. But they're saying at least, I'm sure this number is higher now, at least 51 people have died following extreme rainfall and flooding on Tuesday in Valencia. They're saying they couldn't put an exact number as people remain missing and rescue operations are continuing. But look at some of these videos online from Spain. They're brutal. Look at this. Looks like a river. It looks like a lake, but this is an airport. This is not a lake. This is an airport or something. It literally looks like they're standing at a river. And all the people huddled in the airport trying to escape the water. People just like going, "Oh my god, why is there so much water?" That's outside someone's apartment. It literally looks like they live in a river. But there was a brutal one. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah, look at this. That's crazy. That's a lot of water. And look, another one. Look at this. Oh my god, is that a police car? Look. Bye-bye, police car. Bye. It's crazy. It's really mental over there. That rain. All that rain happened in like 3 hours or something like that. Very, very fast. And it's from a weather event called a Dania. It's just crazy. And they had look at these cars. I don't know if this will play. No, it won't. It's sending me to YouTube. But all these cars were going down the street, getting banged together. Yeah, here you go. Cars. All these cars getting like floated down the road. And I think this was one of the most crazy things. I wonder if I can find it for you. Is it this one?
Madre mía. Tengo un tornado en mi casa, loco. Se me ha roto el cristal y todo. ¡Ay, mareo! ¡Ay, mareo! ¡Ay, mareo! ¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡Madre mía!
That was a tornado. I don't know if you saw it, but the winds were coming back around and whipping stuff at the door. That was like the bottom part of a real tornado. It actually like flung something at the door that smashed the window. But yeah, that was 100% a real tornado. You can just tell by the way the winds are. Yeah, I'm gonna mute it. We'll watch it again. I wonder if I can make it a little smaller. There we go. You can see it whips this metal thing at the door. It almost breaks the door open. But you see that circular cyclone motion here. Everything getting whipped around in a circle. And it's taken away the roof. It's taken away anything it can get a hold of. Definitely the lower part of a tornado. Basically wiped away their awning and everything outside. That was an enclosed area before at the start of the video. And there was another one too.
¿Cuál de las Fenway que estaba ahí, tío, el chaval? Guau, qué locura, tío. Guau, 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 guau. Por favor. Guau, qué locura, tío. Mira ya, tío. Qué locura. Mira, está arrancando el periódico.
That was another tornado. So they had a whole bunch of them. But you can see this tornado really violent too. I was going through it frame by frame earlier. I wonder if I can pause the music here. Not music, but oh, it's not going to play. Thanks for that. No, it's not going to play. But you can see all this stuff being lifted up, and you see this carousel motion on the bottom right-hand corner here. That's like multiple vortices moving around the main parent circulation. And yeah, you could see them whipping around and coming back around, and it's sort of like a carousel as these little tiny spin-ups, or what we call vortices, spin around the main parent circulation. And then there was another one. Look at this one. It's like a real tornado. This one's a bit quieter. So they've had crazy flooding, tornadoes, rain, hail. It's been really bad over there. And now they're saying, wait, let me see how many deaths there are now. Death toll has jumped to 95 people, unfortunately, in the last few hours. That's not good. Yeah, let's go to the BBC very quickly. Look at this. Look at all these cars. So there you go. Our thoughts are with our Spanish friends and everyone in and around Valencia. I've never seen anything like it except in the earthquake tsunami, or maybe like the Lockyer Valley floods from 2012, something like that. That's about the only time I've seen anything similar. But they had everything. They had tornadoes, thunderstorm, floods, hail, just you name it. They had the kitchen sink thrown at them. All right, let's get back to true crime. Let me find my stories for you, if I can find it. That's not the story we wanted. By the way, you remember I told you a story about a baby that had coffee thrown on it? They still have not been able to locate that man that's responsible for that. They still haven't been able to find that guy. Let me get my links are all messed up. Come on. We've done that one. We did that one. I did that one. I'm trying to find out where we've got too many things open on my list. All right. All right. Let's go to KFDM in Texas. Oh, that's not it. They're saying 3 suspects indicted for capital murder in the murder of Ebony Gilbert. And do we have that Ring doorbell? You can see the shooter here. I'll find you a photo of it in a minute. They're saying the Jefferson County grand jury has indicted 3 suspects for the capital murder of 39-year-old Ebony Gilbert, a case Beaumont police describe as brutal, cold-blooded killing caught on home surveillance camera when the young woman interrupted the suspects burglarizing her car. The grand jury indicted Decory Shiloh, 21, Javonta Turner, 21, Tydrick Davis, 20, for capital murder. Investigators called Decory Shiloh the accused gunman. The chilling images are captured on Ring doorbell camera video. According to the probable cause affidavits for their arrest, the timestamps show Thursday, September 26 at 8 p.m., when the suspects are accused of burglarizing Gilbert's car outside of her home on Bennett Street. Investigators say videos show Gilbert stepping outside to see what's happening when a gunman they identify as Shiloh is seen on video shooting her. Beaumont police say she struggled to get back into her home, but collapsed and died. Ebony's mother went over to the home that Friday afternoon to check on her when she couldn't get in touch with her. That's when she saw something no mother should have to endure, her daughter's body. So apparently, KFDM or Fox 4 News has obtained probable cause affidavits from the magistrate, and the court documents indicate Decory Shiloh admitted to his involvement in the shooting and provided details about the killing of Gilbert, including naming Turner and Davis as co-defendants. According to the court documents, he also admitted to giving the clothing he was wearing during the homicide to Javonta Turner, 21. BPD detectives say they found the clothing when they carried out a search warrant Sunday at a residence in the 4000 block of Maida, where they arrested Turner, who is now charged also with murder. The PC for Davis' arrest states he confided to a witness that he was with both of the men, Shiloh and Turner, and present at the location when the homicide occurred. The court documents indicate all 3 men were involved in an auto theft at Gilbert's home that resulted in her killing. They're saying the judge, Raquel West, set the bond amount at $750,000 for Shiloh. According to the Justice of the Peak, Mark DeRuin, set bond on Turner at $800,000 and ordered that he wear a GPS monitor and remain in Jefferson County and have no contact with the co-defendants. Davis' bond is set at $800,000 as well. So the guy who snitched on his two friends only got a $50,000 reduction in bond for basically being labeled as a snitch. So he's going to have a hard time in prison. Let me see if I can find this the Ring doorbell for you. Yeah, Ebony Gilbert. Yeah, I'll play the old video for you so you guys can get caught up if you don't remember.
Tonight, there's some developments in the Ebony Gilbert murder investigation. At this hour, all three suspects are now in jail charged with murder. 21-year-old DeCorey Shiloh, 21-year-old Javonta Turner, and 20-year-old Tydrick Davis. Officers arrested Shiloh on Saturday, Turner on Sunday, and Davis today. Also, police say when they arrested Javonta Turner, he was hiding at the residence of his older brother, 40-year-old Ricky Turner. He's charged with hindering apprehension and felon in possession of police body armor. The murder victim, 39-year-old Ebony Gilbert, remembered as a beautiful, independent woman who loved her family, her church, and her wide circle of friends. Gilbert's mother found her daughter's body Friday afternoon outside of her home on Bennett Avenue in North Beaumont. Her mom went over there when she hadn't heard from Ebony. Investigators gathered multiple shell casings, spoke with witnesses, and looked at that Ring doorbell camera video. From there, arrests happened quickly. Police arresting Javonta Turner Sunday. He denied involvement in the murder when we spoke with him on the way to jail. He used obscenities in describing DeCorey Shiloh, providing information, and instead of offering condolences to Gilbert's family, he instead apologized to his own family for what he's going through. Saturday, police arrested the first suspect, DeCorey Shiloh. He refused to get into specifics, but said he hoped Ebony Gilbert can rest in peace, expressing condolences to her mother and telling us, quote, "I'm not a monster." But according to court documents that we obtained for the arrests, Shiloh had a lot more to say to investigators. According to those documents, he admitted.
Yeah, I like how he just admitted, like he's like they perp walk him and everything, and yet he was the one who like told them everything. I was unable to find the CCTV. I don't know if they released the entire thing or they only released part of it, but I will see. I will try and find it. But interesting, he's gonna have a really hard time in prison that he told on his buddies. LMS says, "Oh, yeah, the area is getting better in Carolina. Still no power or no water, no help with rebuilding. I hope it does get better in Carolina and fast, like quick." Um, Here's the picture out of that Ring doorbell. You can see him here holding that firearm before they shoot and kill Ebony, unfortunately, and she lost her life. I really wish I could find not her getting killed. I just want to see them on the video. Let me see. I thought it. Yeah, I thought we had it. Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I thought we had the entire CCTV, but maybe I am wrong. All right, maybe yeah. All right, hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. All right, no, sorry. I really can't find it. Ping's terrible with the Google food tonight. But that's him on the camera trying to burglarize her, and I think that might be her back right there. There's someone in that corner. Very sad. Very sad. Someone trying to just protect their belongings and they get shot and killed. That is, I'm glad they tracked them down real fast. They're now in custody and have been indicted by a grand jury. Here's their photos after they did their nice little perp walk here. There's Dakori Shiloh or Shiloh. He is very Shiloh. Javonta Turner and Tydrick Davis, all getting walked out for the cameras out of the police station. That's what we like to see. Let's see what else we have. Do we have anything else? There's a picture of Ebony Gilbert. What a nice looking young lady. And there's these two. I wonder if we can make that larger. There we go. Shooting with a firearm after trying to burglarize her. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. People can't, just have their stuff unless people want to steal it, apparently. All right, let me see. Yeah, so this was one of the original articles about it. They say in a shocking ring cam moment, a Texas woman was brutally executed on her own doorstep after she stumbled upon two men trying to steal her car. Ebony Gilbert, 39, bravely confronted the car burglars at roughly 8 p.m. last month, only to be shot point blank by the fleeing crooks. The smart camera snatched a glimpse of one suspect's mug, albeit obscured by a menacing black balaclava and white hoodie. Cops have branded the killing a brutal, cold-blooded killing. I agree. They're saying here chilling reports disclose that Gilbert's lifeless body was found by her mum at around 3 p.m. on Friday. See, that's horrible. They just left her lying there just on the inside of her door for her mum to find her. That's horrible. Hey guys, Muffin, hold on. Sorry about that. Muffin trying to be very naughty. They are evil people, I agree. Very evil. Okay. At least they've been indicted, though. They will now hopefully get their own form of justice, being that it's a robbery while committing murder, or no, murder while committing a armed robbery. So that'll be a capital offense. And we'll see what happens at trial. Hopefully, they get the maximum punishment and get treated how they treated that woman. That is horrible. Here's a nice photo of her. I like this photo. She should never have died at the front of her own property trying to, you know. I don't think she was trying to protect the car. I think she wanted to know what the noise was. So she went out the front going like, "What the hell? Get the hell away." And they just shot her. As they tried to escape the area, they just point blank fired on her. And then were so disgusting, left her body there for her mum to come and find. Then, like a couple of days later, can you imagine that? You know, you don't hear from your kid. you go to their home and they're lying dead in their doorway. You know, after a couple of days in the Texas heat, that's not something that anyone should ever have to experience. It's really horrid. All right, let's start. Let's start winding down. I want to show you something. So it's Halloween, everyone. It's Halloween. We were just talking about Ring doorbells, right? Ghost is caught on Ring doorbell in chilling detail as a mysterious orb glides across the kitchen in Preston. Preston's in Victoria here. I don't know if they mean Preston, UK or Preston. It's UK, Preston, UK. Do you want to see the spooky ghost for Halloween? I can show it to you. We can show it to you. Be stunned by the detail of the ghost. It is very detailed, super detailed. It's lifelike, super lifelike. All right, I'll show you the ghost. Just because it's Halloween. We don't normally do the Oogie Boogie type stuff. Did you see how detailed it was? Oh my god, that was like a woman who was dressed in 18th century clothes. I mean, I could see it. She was full body apparition. Super detailed. This one too, look at that. Oh my god. That's my long dead Auntie Mavis. I swear, it has her hair. Oh, that is indisputable proof of the afterlife. Actually, this one's pretty creepy. Listen to this one. All right, those ones do get me. Like, where do the voices come from? They're so freaky. He even said good morning back to it. Unless his gardener sleeps in his garden overnight, waiting for daylight, he's like, I can be the first one to mow his lawn. I don't know if that, like, how does that work? That's freaky though. Let's listen. I want to watch that one again. It almost sounds like he said, Morning, John. Morning, John. It's almost what I hear. Or, you know, he could have just farted or something and, you know, you never know. Sean says no one films an orb in color, only infrared. That's because that's how they communicate, Sean. They only communicate in in um in in infrared or by scanning through all the radio channels all at once, every frequency, like every 2 seconds, because they communicate like tenth of a syllable over every airwave. That's just how it works. That's just how the ghosts do it. They don't understand radio waves, so they just speak on all of them. So you need to listen to all of them at the same time to be able to pick them up, apparently. Yeah, so there you go. Ghosts for Halloween. I mean, I'm scared. I mean, aren't you? I'm petrified. What is this? Oh my god, there's another one. Oh my god, it's a bit of dust. Someone didn't do their cleaning last week. Okay, well that's a little weird. Something fell over, but you know, the orb wasn't even near it. It was like halfway across the other side of the room. Oh my god, these circles. It's like what's that movie with Mel Gibson? And it's called like the one with the crops and they're like they're getting into the house. That's what that is. That's what that is. A mouse knocked it. That's right. You know what it is? It's an orb of a dead mouse. That's what it is. It's coming to visit its mouse friend who knocked the panel over, and it's a it's a mouse orb. That's why it's so small. That's why we got it wrong. These are not human ghosts; they're mouse ghosts coming back in the form of orbs. Who the hell is buzzing me? Oh, okay. So very spooky. I don't know how anyone will ever sleep tonight on Halloween. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm sure you are. What's this one say? This video could not be loaded either because the server or network failed. Oh my god, that is freaky. Definitely ghosts. What are they trying to show us here? Some dude stealing a beer. Oh my god, it's a chair, not a chair. What will I do with my life? It's rocking. Oh my lord. It's great Auntie Nana. She's come back to nurse our baby. Well, you know, she just can't forget that time that she held our child who's now 35. She can't let it go. She came back to sit in a rocking chair. And then it stopped. She must have got bored. Oh, she's testing out all the seats in the home. So she's like Goldilocks. Okay. Freaky. Very freaky. I mean, they could make a Hollywood motion movie out of this and sell it for billions. Even that. I mean, look at that thing fall down. I think the red circle is more scary. It keeps moving. I mean, I'm more scared of the red circle. Imagine if a red circle popped up in your life. I'd be way more scared of that than any of this. Sean says the scary movie Send Up was gold. Yeah, I don't know why they stopped making those. They should have continued. They were good movies. By the way, I want to thank oh, Nick. Nick sent in her like monthly membership thing, and Vicky K for the donation to the Ko-fi. I very much appreciate you both. It is very kind of you, and supporting the channel it means a lot. I know what it's like out there. It's mental right now, and for you to be able to do that is very very kind. I do appreciate it. The red circle could be ringworm. It's camera ringworm. That's exactly what it is. See, bingo, we got it. All right. All right, one more before we go. Killer who strangled his girlfriend to death with a TV cable after she nursed him through cancer is jailed for life. They're saying a man who strangled his girlfriend to death with a TV wire shortly after she helped him through a battle with cancer has been jailed for life. They're calling him a monster. George Chalmers, 54, murdered Ruth Baker at his flat in Beeston, Leeds, after a night of drinking in March. He pleaded guilty at Leeds Crown Court today as the court heard. It was not the first time he had assaulted his partner, with assault convictions dating back to 1995. The court heard the day of the murder, the witness, the day of the murder, witnesses heard arguing and screaming and a woman shouting for help before Chalmers called 999 and admitted that he had just committed a murder at his address in Tempest Road. They say the prosecutors said the killer claimed he had done it because Ruth had cheated on him and they had been arguing about it. Ah, you old geezer. Yeah, you muppet. What are you doing? And here's the woman, Ruth Baker, 48. They had only been in a 6-month relationship. How sad. And she nursed him through a cancer diagnosis, prostate cancer. And he, as a favor, you know, to be so kind after she did that for him, after being together for only 6 months, decided to kill her. I mean, What a present. What an ass. They're saying here officers detained Chalmers as efforts were made to resuscitate the victim, who had visible facial and head injuries and had a blue complexion. An electrical cord was found wrapped twice around her neck so tightly that it was cutting into her. Mr. Smith said that during his interview, Chalmers told officers, "What's the point of having a solicitor? I'm guilty, aren't I? That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm guilty. Take me back to my cell. That's all. She's dead. I killed her. That's it." Chalmers told officers he could not remember what led to the killing and did not know what had happened, claiming he had mental health issues and that some days Ruth would antagonize him by saying she was going off with somebody else. Mr. Smith said he didn't know if he had intended to kill her, but agreed that wrapping a cord around someone's neck would cause harm. He admitted that she wouldn't have been a threat to him due to their very different physical states. The court heard that in November last year, just 2 months after they met online, Ruth was left bruising and with two black eyes after Chalmers attacked her during a romantic getaway close to her home in Carlisle. They're saying the couple had rented a holiday flat near where cleaners found excrement on the walls and soft furnishings, as well as clumps of hair. In text following the holiday, the court heard it became clear that Chalmers had assaulted Ruth, and she had sent him videos and images of her injuries. In one text, she told him her daughter had seen her body and added, "I told her I fell down the stairs. Don't worry, I won't report you, but you can't let this happen again to anyone else you meet." Chalmers replied, "I'm sorry. I know I'm a piece of S. Hopefully, I'll die in my sleep to ease the pain." He later messaged, "I'll never forget what I've done." Well, apparently not, because you did it again and then you killed her. So you obviously never did forget. Have fun in jail. Have fun dying there. They said between that assault and Ruth's murder, Chalmers was diagnosed with prostate cancer, which Ruth supported him through. Medical reports had found it had not affected his behavior. In a victim impact statement, Ruth's other daughter, Nicole, told the court her mother, who worked as a homeless accommodation assistant, did not deserve the vicious death brought upon her. She added, "It would have been a weekend of celebrations. Her youngest grandson was turning 4 the previous day. While most people were spending time with family, we spent the day in shock and horror as our family liaison officer had to try and explain why our mother wasn't returning. How are we as a family going to move on when the person who brought us into the world is no longer in it? Too many times I've grabbed my phone to tell her about something that has just happened and to send her a picture or to talk to her when I wake up for work, only for the crushing realization that it's not possible. She had so many plans and so many things she wanted to do. Her dancing days had been mercilessly taken from her. I fear I will never truly recover. We just keep her star shining forever." They say her youngest daughter, named Leah, then 17, lived with her mother at the time of her death. Leah described Chalmers as a monster and said her mother had the gentlest and kindest of hearts. "It pains me that I have my whole life to lead that she won't be present for." As well as her two daughters, Ruth is survived by a son and her father, as well as cousins, nieces, and nephews. In a victim impact statement, Ruth's son said he felt his heart had been ripped out, adding, "No one had a bad thing to say about her. She wouldn't see anyone suffer and was able to give help to anyone who needed it." The court was told Chalmers had previous convictions for a common assault in 1995. It was said it was related to an incident where he grabbed his then girlfriend around the neck, causing her to choke. She was released when she kicked him, or when she kicked out, causing him to lose his grip. In 1997, he was convicted of assault occasioning bodily harm when he threatened to kill his girlfriend and squeezed her neck. The woman lost consciousness. Chalmers threw her onto a bed and into a wardrobe. He was striking a woman in the head in public in 2001 when he was snared for being drunk and disorderly. They say uh, Bill Gates submitted that. Bill Gates? No. Gil Batts submitted that there was no evidence of any degree of planning or premeditation in Ruth's murder. She said, "What the evidence does show is that the parties appeared to be on good terms on the journey from Carlisle to West Yorkshire. It appears this took place after the consumption of a significant amount of alcohol on both sides. He doesn't have an account to give in terms of what exactly took place. The judge said this was a sustained attack where physical injuries were inflicted upon her. You have a history of violence towards women. It can only be described as a savage and brutal attack. I agree. He needs to be locked away. He's jailed for life. Good. Have fun dying in jail. Apparently, abuser of all women. Actually, let's not put it on his face. Let's put it on hers. There's Ruth. She looks like a very sweet woman. I know. He does look 100, that's right. All right, 3 minutes until Trisha's show. I'm going to get out of here for the day. Hey, I love you very much, all of you. I miss the night shows as well. It feels like a long time since I see you until the next day. But it's just the way it is right now. Hopefully, they'll be back in the future at some point, maybe in 2025, and we can do them again. Have fun with Trish. I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we'll do another 2 hours, and we'll talk more true crime and weird stories from around the world. Peace out. Good night, everyone. Bye.